Whether you're looking for answers to specific life questions or seeking to become the best version of you possible, welcome to the Mental Breakdown and Psychreg podcast, where we offer insight, information, and strategies based upon research and years of practice as clinical psychologists. So sit back, have a listen, and get connected with our hosts, Dr. Berney Wilkinson and Dr. Richard Marshall. Welcome back. Richard, today we're going to talk a little bit about people-pleasing and social anxiety. Now, something I really like about this article...
Hey, stealing my thunder, huh? I'm going to say something at the end.
Something I really like about this article is that it talks about a difference between... differentiates different subtypes of social anxiety.
Right.
Because we often think about social anxiety as a person who's just afraid of social interactions and the withdrawal and they're socially avoidant and things like that.
Because they're extreme shyness.
Right.
I don't want to go out and do anything because I'm so shy.
Exactly. And in this article, we talk about sort of another subset of social anxiety where people really work hard to please other people.
That's right.
So the title of this article, or the column that we're blog post, I never know which to call it, an article, a column, or a blog post. I typically hit all three for some reason. But it's a blog post from our blog, psychreg.org, called People Pleasing, the Trojan Horse of Social Anxiety. Mm-hmm. And again, the idea is that there's a subtype of social anxiety where the person is determined to please everyone, just to keep everyone satisfied, everyone happy, everyone pleased with themselves, as a form of social anxiety.
Yeah, the beauty in this, and I had never made this connection before. Mm-hmm. So clinically, it's going to be a great assist. But I had never thought about this before, that. We usually tend to think of social anxiety as shyness.
Right.
People are too shy to make phone calls and too shy to do this and too shy to do that. But there's this other facet of social anxiety, and that is that some people who are shy tend to avoid. Right. Okay. But there's another, in addition to avoidance, another way to express social anxiety is by trying to please the people that you encounter, by letting them say whatever they want, and you agree.
Always agree.
Whether you agree or not, you agree to be pleasant because you don't want anybody to think badly of you. So you manage your social anxiety by being agreeable with everybody.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so what this column or blog or article, I'll just hit all three again, points out are some ways to help overcome that.
That's right.
Because what happens is when you express social anxiety through consistent or constant people pleasing, you begin to lose your identity. You begin to, you find yourself in conflictual situations, because if you agree with what one person says and then somebody else says something opposing, and then you agree with that person, where do you really stand? You don't really have a position.
That's right. If you're always agreeing, then you're going to be invited into things that really are counter to who you are. People, you say, oh yeah, I really agree with that. And you say, well, why don't you come to this meeting with me then? Well, because I don't really believe it. I don't really believe that. I don't believe it that much. And so you get caught.
Yeah.
Plus you lose your identity.
Right.
You're always giving in,
right?
And there's eventually there's no you. You're like a chameleon. Whoever you're with, that's who you agree with. If you're with, whether it's political or religious or intellectual, you're agreeing with the people you're with.
Right. Mm-hmm. So in this column, there's a few strategies for helping to overcome some of that. Very good strategies. The first is to give your opinion, even if other people disagree. And I'm going to say this right here because. This is the case with maybe a lot of the things that we sort of read off as we're going through some of these different articles and columns and stuff. But that is one of those things that's really easy to say, but oftentimes difficult to do, especially if you have social anxiety. You want to be able to give your opinion, even if other people disagree with you. The very nature of social anxiety means that it's going to be really difficult for you to do that.
Right.
And so what we often suggest is that we said this in yesterday's podcast, you got to practice. You got to put yourself in situations where you're practicing that.
That's right.
Whether it's with a loved one or someone that you feel pretty comfortable with, you have to rehearse having an opinion that is different than somebody else's, and being able to deal with somebody saying, oh, you know what, I don't see it that way. I see it in a different way, or I think differently. And being able to tolerate that, being able to manage that.
Right.
What?
Oh, I don't know. You know, when people ask you who you voted for in the last election, nobody's admitting who they voted for anymore, but you can't be afraid to say.
Right.
And if people don't like you because of it, or they don't invite you back because of who you voted for, you probably don't want to go there anymore.
Right.
I mean, you're going to run out of things to talk about quickly. If
your relationship is rooted in some of those things, then absolutely.
You're with people who, let's give a specific example. If you're with a group of Republicans, for example, okay, because I don't choose my friends based on their political affiliation, okay? But let's say you at a party and you find yourself that you're with a group of either Democrats or Republicans. So let's say I'm with a group of Republicans and I voted Democratic. If I say, well, I voted for Hillary Clinton and they never invite me back, well, that's okay, because there's probably a lot of things we don't have in common, okay? Right. Or if I'm with a group of Democrats and I say, I voted for Donald Trump, if that's my belief, and I voted for Donald Trump, and they never invite me back because I'm a conservative, well, that's okay, because there's a lot of things we're probably not going to agree on.
Right.
Okay? But go ahead and express your opinion, because eventually, first of all, your opinion is valuable.
Right.
Okay? If it's expressed gently, kindly, respectfully to others, it's valuable, but also it gets you with people who are probably going to invite you back because now they know who you are.
Well, and I was going to say the other issue with it is that in the way that I oftentimes relate it to with my patients is that if that happens and they don't invite you back, that's more of a reflection on them, and it's not something for you to be anxious or overly concerned or frustrated about. And again, it's very easy to say that, but more difficult to experience it. But it's not on you. That's a reflection of them,
right?
Of their intolerance, their inflexibility,
or it's how they choose their friends,
right,
which they're completely entitled to. Okay,
exactly.
But eventually, your relationship is going to run out of fuel.
Right.
Okay, and so don't worry about it.
Right.
Because if that's how they choose their friends, they're completely entitled to do it that way.
Yeah.
If they only want to surround themselves with like-minded people on a particular issue, whether it's politics, religion, or food choices, doesn't matter what the issue is. If that's how they make their decision, they're completely entitled to that.
That's true.
But eventually, you're not going to fit in anyway.
Right.
So save yourself time and search for other relationships. Right,
because even if you're tolerant and you're able to manage it, and if somebody else isn't, then that's that's their prerogative.
Right.
And you jumped right to an example that was like hardcore.
Well, people are still talking about the election. A lot of people are saying, well, they're sort of wondering if things went the way they wanted them to, and so there are these discussions that are coming up, and people still feel very strongly about their choices. So one way or the other.
Right. The next one is don't try to buy people's affections. Now we do that because we work really hard to to give people gifts, to do something for people, whether you're buying a physical thing or you're buying them with your time and energy and commitments. You want to be cautious not to overcommit yourself either monetarily or time-wise to other people, because that's not the way to build friendships. That's not the way to engage with somebody. Certainly if you have a friend and they're moving and you want to, you can help them move. But we all either know or have heard of people who, commit themselves to like weekend after weekend of doing things for other people, and then of course when you need something done, nobody comes to help you, and it's
you move yourself,
or
you hire somebody to do it.
That's right,
because then you don't have any friends.
That's right. Oh, everybody seems to be busy on those weekends. So don't try to buy people's affections, again, with either trinkets or things or even your time.
Think about it, Bernie. The people you like to be with, you don't expect anything from them. It would almost be an embarrassment, if they... It would sully the relationship.
Right.
You don't expect anything because you just enjoy them for who they are.
Right.
So use that as your guide. You
Absolutely.
don't have to be buying. People who really want you around don't expect anything except you.
Right. Right. The next one is to say no without feeling guilty.
Go ahead, try it.
Once again, that's an easy thing to say, but it's a much more difficult thing to do. Saying no is a difficult task. So you want to, but we got to practice that. You got to put yourself in situations, or find situations where if you really don't want to do something, just say no. Just don't do it.
There's a related article. I don't know whether it's on this page or not, or in this blog, about a woman who was beginning to struggle because she was asked to be a bridesmaid at a wedding, and the original wedding was small, and affordable. And as the plans kept growing, it finally reached a point where it was going to be a destination wedding, and there was going to be all these things. Well, eventually it was going to be like $1,000 or $1,200 to be part of this wedding. And there are more and more of these weddings now where people are going to destination bachelorette parties, destination weddings. And if you remember the wedding party, it can cost you $1,500 to $2,000. And so the advice was, at some point you have to say, I can't afford to be a bridesmaid, but I'll be happy to do these other things for you.
Right.
So you're saying no, but you're only saying no to one thing.
Right.
And you're saying, but I'll be available for the other things.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing you have to have is a ready response for people if you don't want to do something. When you talk about practicing to get good at it, is to prepare yourself. If you know somebody's moving and you really don't want to help, well, you better make plans for that day. So you're not really lying to them.
Right.
But you say, hey, I'd love to help you, but I'm going to be out of town that weekend, or I can't because of ill health or something. Have some ready response. When you have little kids, babies, it's easy to say, I'd love to, but my kid's sick. No, I can't do it. So you have this built-in excuse. So learn how to say no. It's a skill that you can develop, but don't do it. You may not get rid of all of your guilt, but at least you'll be able to say, you'll get rid of enough guilt to say no.
Yeah, absolutely.
But offer them something else. Say, and I can't do it that weekend, but I can do it this weekend, or I can't do this, but I can do that.
Now, the last one listed here is care less about what others think of you.
Again, not easy to do.
I think that's the case with all of these that we said.
Jeez, these are hard. No, they're hard to do.
Yeah.
But you were right. You have to practice.
Yeah.
You have to. It's a skill that you have to learn.
Yeah. You have to be. This is where the confidence comes in. That's sort of the theme for this week is confidence and self-esteem, and you have to feel good about who you are and good enough to be able to say, I'm okay with you not liking me. I'm okay with you not inviting me back.
That's right. Because eventually it's going to happen anyway.
Right.
I mean, eventually the relationship is going to run out of fuel.
We said that before in a podcast talking about relationships, and we were talking that for a relationship to be, the best way for a relationship to be successful is for you to be okay with the relationship not being successful. Because if you're so hung up on the relationship being a success, you're going to do all those people-pleasing things, and you're going to be so stressed and overwhelmed and frustrated. But if you're okay with, if this relationship doesn't work out, that's okay. I'm going to enjoy it all the while that I can. Then all of a sudden that relieves a lot of anxiety and tension and pressure, and you can enjoy the relationship for what it is. You don't have those self-imposed anxieties and stresses. You can just be you.
That's right. And that, we all have people in our lives who do impose on us more than we would like them to.
Yes.
Most people don't. I think most people we have in our lives probably don't do that. But all of us have some people in our lives who do impose, and those are the only ones you really have to do with. Those are the only ones you really have to have. In most cases, you're happy to do things for other people.
Right.
It's just one or two relationships that you have to be very careful of, and be cautious and be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, that's it.
But it comes with confidence is the issue here. You have to have enough confidence and self-respect that you're not going to get, you're going to be charitable, you're going to be helpful,
right?
But you're not going to be taken advantage of.
Right. Yeah. And for ideas about increasing your confidence, check out yesterday's podcast.
Right. Oh yeah, that was good.
That was, we gave 10 ways to increase your confidence. So.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Awesome. So, all right, that's it for today.
Yes.
Join us. Make sure you join us Thursday night. That's if you're listening to this on the day that this comes out. This is Tuesday. So this is Tuesday, August 15th. So if you are listening to it in 2 days, on the 17th, we are doing a live YouTube event on Thursday night on perks of being a wallflower. So watch the movie, join us for a conversation.
Yeah, drag that movie out. Is it on? It's not on Netflix.
I don't think it's on Netflix,
No.
but it's really good. Find it, because talk about we'll talk a little bit about confidence with that one.
Right.
So, all right, that's it.
That's it for today.
So we will be back tomorrow. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and forget to be afraid.